We're still in Macbeth's castle, Banquo and Fleance carrying a torch. Banquo asks, "How is the night going, boy?" Now, just to say at this point, I'll just read you the modern translation, our modern translation in the blue box. But if you buy the ebook, you can see this sort of line for line, quote for quote comparison. So, how is the night going, boy? And Fleance says, "The moon has set, but I don't know what time it is." Banquo says, "The moon usually sets at midnight." And Fleance says, "Well, if that's the case, it must be later than midnight, sir." So, not the brightest person in the world, you know. But anyway, Banquo says, "Here, take my swords. There must be good housekeeping in heaven, because they're saving their candles." He's talking about the stars. "Take this too. I'm tired and weary, and yet I must not sleep. Merciful powers, keep me from having the terrible nightmares that come when I rest." So we get the sense that Banquo is a bit disturbed for whatever reason. Macbeth comes along then with a servant and a torch, and Banquo wants his sword back, and he says, "Who's there?" Now I'm going to analyse that in a lot of detail in the next video, and it's also in the ebook, because that's a significant question. Macbeth says, "A friend." And Banquo says, "What's this, sir? Have you not gone to bed yet?" "The king has. He was in an unusually good mood and has sent forth great gifts to your household. He's given this diamond to your wife for being such a kind and attentive hostess, and has gone to bed a happy man." Well, once again, we see there an example where King Duncan just seems naive and kind of has everything all wrong. He thinks Lady Macbeth's a great hostess, she's trying to kill him. Macbeth says, "Because we were unprepared for his visit, we were unable to be as generous to the king as we would have otherwise liked." So basically, he's saying, you know, all we had was a pot noodle for Duncan. We would have at least got some sandwiches if we'd have known about it. Banquo says, "Everything is good. I had a dream last night about the three witches. They have been truthful about you." Seems here Banquo is kind of digging away a little bit, like to try and gauge where Macbeth stands on the king prophecy. Macbeth says, "I don't think about them. Yet when the time comes, we can talk for an hour or so about them if you would like." Banquo says, "Whenever suits you." And Macbeth says, "If you shall stay loyal to me, when the time comes, it will bring you honours." Banquo says, "So long as I don't lose any honour by trying to add more, but still keep myself in clear conscience and loyal to my king, then I will do whatever you say." That's an interesting quote too, which I'll delve into in the next video. Macbeth says, "Good, rest now for a while." And Banquo says, "Thanks, sir. The same to you." And Banquo and Fleance leave, and Macbeth says, "Go and tell Lady Macbeth that when my drink is ready, to strike the bell, then go to bed." And the servant leaves. Then we have this, probably the most famous moment from Macbeth, where he sees a dagger. "Is this a dagger I see in front of me? Its handle pointing towards my hand. Let me try to grab it." And he grabs. "I don't have the dagger, but I can still see it. Am I unable to touch you even though I can see you? Or are you something I've created in my mind, a hallucination that's come from my overactive imagination? I can still see you, and you seem as real as this other dagger." Then he takes his real one. "You're leading me the way I was already going, and I was going to use a dagger too. My eyes are either being tricked by all my other senses, or they're better than all the rest of them put together. I can still see this dagger, and on the blade thick drops of blood which were not there before. There's no such thing. It is our current blood-fueled plans to murder Duncan which makes me see this vision. Now half the world is asleep, and evil dreams keep people from sleeping properly. People who practice witchcraft everywhere are giving up offerings to their god, Hecate, and the old man of murder, called by his guard the wolf, creeps quickly like Tarquin." Tarquin was a Roman prince who crept into a woman's bedroom to rape her. "Towards his goal. You, solid and firm ground, do not hear which way my steps go, because I don't want their sound to echo back and let people know my whereabouts and break this silence which suits the deed I'm about to do. While I talk about this, Duncan is still alive. The more words I use, the more my courage is beginning to go cold." Then a bell rings. "That bell is telling me to go. It is done. Don't listen to that bell, Duncan, because its ringing means you are either going to heaven or hell." And there ends Act 1, scene 1. So I hope you found this video useful. Please do give it, Act 2 scene 1 I should say, please do give it a thumbs up.